He knows not his pleasure. Boom, chip.
TikTok. If you're between the ages of baby and boomer, you've heard about this app. Maybe a friend has sent one to you, or you've seen it all over every social media platform, or you've heard all of this.
The president threatened to block the popular video app. Linked to China poses a security risk.
Already prompted the U.S. to ban TikTok.
Now, are these concerns about TikTok being a national security threat credible? Absolutely. I've spent days going through raw code, reading dozens of reports, and communicating with people who have reverse engineered the entire app to expose everything about it. I'm sorry to say, but there is credible evidence to suggest that TikTok is a data collection service that's thinly veiled as a social network run by Chinese-owned corporations under the governance of the Chinese Communist Party. This video is not a fluff piece to get clicks like almost every other article you can find online. This video is me, so of course my biases will be a factor, but my main intention is to provide you with the evidence and to share the truth. What I'm about to tell you affects you no matter what. If you post TikToks, if you just like to browse, if you downloaded the app one time and deleted it, if anyone in your household has it downloaded, you need to hear this information. There's a lot to dive into here, a lot of technical nonsense, but most importantly, we're going to be talking international law, sketchy third parties, and links to the Chinese Communist Party. I can assure you that this video will not be monetized, especially now that I'm criticizing the largest political party on Earth. So seriously, I appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and most importantly, subscribing. I want to see if I can put the YouTube play button on my college resume. And I'm going to speak candidly for a second. This is not a normal video of mine. Most of the time it's just me rambling to the camera or staring at the sun or animating horrific things. But this video is focusing on facts and information that my audience would benefit from knowing. So if I see a single comment that's like, "Where's the funny?" I will report you to the Chinese. This right here is a static analysis. It's essentially a test of the internal structure of the app. It's a report analyzing the application data for control paths, for security weaknesses. There's a lot of data and numbers to unpack, and if you're that interested, I've linked the full 78-page paper in the description, along with all my sources. Now, combing through that static analysis, there's a lot of information, and there's a lot to unpack. TikTok collects info on you. That's expected with any app, especially social networks. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, they all collect data. But they don't collect anywhere near the same amount as TikTok. As Reddit user Bangerlaw put it, it's like comparing a cup of water to an ocean. They just don't compare. So, what data is actually being collected by TikTok? Well, device information like your phone hardware, screen dimensions, memory usage, serial numbers, SIM card providers, etc. Any apps that you have downloaded, including ones that you've deleted, whether or not your phone is jailbroken, everything network related. That means your IP address, local IP, your MAC, your router MAC, and Wi-Fi name. There's a ton of data harvesting, ranging from basic user information to possibly fingerprinting. It also collects info on user geolocation. An app tracking your location is not rare by any means. Basically every app does it. The concern with TikTok is that it has permissions that are used to allow the API to determine as precise a location as possible from the available location providers, including GPS, as well as Wi-Fi and moving cell data. Some variants of the app even have GPS pinging enabled at all time, roughly every 30 seconds. There are also massive security concerns regarding insecure cryptography algorithms and code, like MD5s, that give users access to raw SQL commands. I know that's nonsense, but stick with me. The app can also execute user-defined commands without user permission, which can lead to arbitrary files being loaded on the device. That could mean that malware could be loaded to your device from inside the application. It leaves a big window for attackers to not only upload malware, but execute and debug it in almost real time. That's an extreme security risk. TikTok is a massive security flaw waiting to happen. While other apps collect data, none of them do it to this degree, and none of them attempt to hide exactly what they're collecting as hard as TikTok does. Again, a cup of water to an ocean. But a lot of people will still say, well, we don't know exactly what data social networks collect. If we ban TikTok, we should also ban Facebook and Twitter, because they collect data too. Again, they don't collect data to nearly the same degree. But for the sake of argument, let's pretend they do. Let's pretend that TikTok collects the same amount of data as Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. There's still one huge concern, and that's China.
China. I love them. China.
It has the highest population in the world and is also home to the Chinese Communist Party, the founding and ruling party of the People's Republic of China. There's heavy suppression of the freedom of speech and the press. They regularly jail people for discussing their civil rights. Serious human rights abuses occur. There's brainwashing, internment camps in the 21st century. The CCP is scary. At the end of this June, after over a year of protests in Hong Kong, China unveiled new laws that grant authorities sweeping powers to crack down on opposition to the CCP, either at home or abroad. Now, the law does a lot that suppresses free speech. It allows for severe punishment for those crimes. But the most relevant here are the passages that allow Beijing to seize information from any entity if they believe it is of concern to the CCP. That prompted many corporations such as Facebook, Google, Twitter, Microsoft, and Zoom to rethink their operations in Hong Kong and the rest of China. TikTok also announced plans to exit Hong Kong, but TikTok's decision to exit had nothing to do with security concerns and everything to do with its Chinese ownership. See, TikTok wears two different faces. The TikTok that we all know and the highly censored Douyin, which operates exclusively in China. There are technically two different apps, but they look and act exactly the same. The only difference being that one operates in China and one operates everywhere else. The reason for having two names for the platform is to assure non-Chinese users that there is no need for concern about outside interference. Remember, Douyin and TikTok are essentially the same app, completely separate from each other, but owned by the same parent company, ByteDance. Under Hong Kong's new international security laws, China could compel TikTok to share its information, which might allow TikTok users to be prosecuted for dissent for the content that they shared on the platform. That leads to the risk that the immense amount of data collected from TikTok is subject to monitoring, restrictions, and censorship. Now, while companies like Facebook and Google can refuse to cooperate with Hong Kong authorities, ByteDance can't. It's a Chinese-based entity. Alibaba. It's a huge tech company that was founded and currently operates in China. They do a ton of stuff, but what we're focusing on is their data storage. They store a ton of data, but the problem is they've had multiple large data leaks that expose millions of people's personal data, including GPS locations, IP addresses, full lists of mobile contacts, memory data, IMSI and IMEI numbers, transaction details, full names, phone numbers, monthly bill details, credit cards, call logs, and a lot more. A lot of this data was easily accessible because of the insecure cryptography and code like MD5s. Just last summer, more than 899 gigabytes of data was leaked, and some of you may say, "But Aiden, my phone has 128 gigabytes, that's not even that much." For reference, the entirety of Wikipedia, every single article ever written on it, is only 11.5 gigabytes. And the truth is, most people's personal data wouldn't fill up an entire Wikipedia article. Now, why does Alibaba matter? It's not like TikTok stores their data there. Not only is TikTok able to steal your data, the code for your data is insecure and all of it is sent back to China, to a company that has a questionable track record with keeping data safe. Plus the fact that the company will continue to operate in China and is required to provide the Chinese government with any and all data they collect. So whether or not there is another data leak, your data is not secure. Now you know the problems with the app and the reasons why it's under intense scrutiny. But even while I was writing this video, a lot of new information has been made public and the story has continued to develop. President Trump is quoted as saying, "We're looking into TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening, so we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok." So what he was trying to say was that the US government is looking into banning the app in some capacity. There is precedent to banning TikTok. Just last month, the entire country of India blocked the app. Indonesia temporarily banned it back in 2018. The conversation about banning TikTok has been happening since July of 2016. Back during the Obama presidency, and before the app was even released in America. I can't say whether or not the recent discussions about TikTok are politically motivated just because they got pranked, but I can say that the concerns being brought up are valid. Is banning TikTok the right move? I don't know. I don't like the precedent it sets, but at the same time, there is credible evidence that the app is dangerous. The story will continue to develop over the next few weeks and months, but that leaves one question. What can you do to protect yourself right now? You can't. The app has been compared to malware, embedding itself into your phone, so even if you delete it, it's still able to harvest data. Beyond that, the app was still able to get access to your serial number, mobile contacts, fingerprint, and possibly much more. If you have the app downloaded, frankly, there's nothing you can do. so there's no need to worry about it. But if you are concerned about the future of TikTok or how your data will be used, stay updated and stay informed. Now, this video does not include all of the information. I've linked to all of my sources down below, and I'll be updating the description to provide more info. Chances are this video won't be monetized. It might not show up in your subscription feed, so if you want me to make an update video, subscribe, tell me your genuine thoughts in the comments, and remember, Big Brother is watching. I'm not ending it like that. TikTok sucks! Oh, hey, P.S. Your very first TikTok will get a ton of views because the algorithm pushes it out to more people, so you think you're more talented than you actually are. So,